What a deck!
Hello and welcome to What a Deck, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Show with the lowest hand traps per capita. I am your host, Hardleg Joe, and today we're looking at Sky Bandits by Patreon sponsor Tiberius Kane Moriarty, who wanted me to play Sky Strikers, one of the most popular decks of the last 10 years, one of the strongest decks. But he wanted me to put a little bit of spice on it, make it a little different from most of the lists out there. So I decided to do a build that's designed around going second. All the cards in here specifically break boards and also steal the opponent's monsters to use them as link material. That's why I'm calling this a bandit deck. It's all about thieving them monsters. Now, if you just have questions about my ratios or other technical stuff, you can look down at the timestamp below. There, I'll be explaining all that. Otherwise, I'm just going to jump into some duels. We're doing random opponents on YGOPro, and I'll show you how this thing works. Alrighty, here we are, the first duel versus WoW, perhaps the sham WoW, and we got to go second, which is what this deck wants to do. It can go first. In fact, it's one of the more flexible decks in the game, but I've specifically designed this to go second with stuff like Harpy's Feather Duster. We got a pretty good hand. Let's start by terraforming, see if we can bait out an Ash or something. We're going to get Area 0. If you're unfamiliar with Sky Strikers, which a surprising amount of my audience is, they run almost entirely on the fact that you want to have 3 spells in the graveyard. They've got a whole bunch of spells, and their spells get more powerful if you have 3 or more spells in the graveyard. So this can target a spell, send it to the graveyard, look at the top 3 cards, and if there's a Sky Striker, you can add it to your hand. So we'll get one of our powerful tools there. Just go ahead and send that because they've got no monsters, so there's not really a point. Normal Summon Ray, one of our 2 main deck monsters. And let's go ahead into Hayate. This deck is all about Link 1 monsters. All the spell traps say you can only activate them if you have no monsters in the main monster zone. So it's all about using your 1 monster to make these mecha forms. She has 4 forms, I guess 5 forms, but 4 main forms you can go into. And this one lets you send a card from the deck to the graveyard when it attacks. It can also attack directly even if they have monsters. So we use that, we're going to put our 1-of card, the best card in the deck, and then we're going to use this to make Kagari. When Kagari's summoned, she can get a card, a spell out of the graveyard, add it to your hand. A Sky Striker spell. Do we have 3 spells in the graveyard? We do not. Damn, that kinda sucks. But yeah, because this searches, and if you have 3 spells in the graveyard, you also get to draw a card, which is really good. Tempted to go for this, but I think just to be safe, we're going to go for Eagle Booster. Just have all the defensive cards we can. It's fine, we'll be able to get that next turn. Then we're going to set all 3 of ours. And we're going to end on Shizuku, the blue one. She says during the end phase, you get to search a Sky Striker card. And then we'll use that to get the multi-roll, so we'll have it for next turn. This is what, I forget exactly what MBT's thing was. I think he called it like a 3-turn deck or a... Ooh. Oh, there goes the Shark Cannon, destroying it with the... banishing it, which is good. That means I can't get it back, and it doesn't increase my count. But, I call this like a 4-turn deck. And they just surrendered. Well, that's unfortunate. Very fast. But at least I got to explain. But it's a 4-turn deck, where basically your opponent's going to go first. Your first turn is breaking their board and trying to get your loop set up. And then they get to go again. Usually they'll have nothing left, or in this case you'll have some stuff to stop them. And then on your 4th turn, now that you've got your loop established, that's usually where you're going to win the game. Either by OTKing them outright, or by just establishing yourself some inevitability. Getting into so much card advantage that your opponent can't possibly overcome it. Maybe we'll see that as we go into the next duel. Alright, duel number 2 versus Roto. Sticking with Paper Strat. We're gonna high five until the end of time, baby. That's fine. What? We'll go. There we go. We finally. That was an ordeal. That was a duel all in of itself. Wow, just starting with another Harpy's Feather Duster. Not the greatest hand. You want to start with a monster. You, like, need a monster to get going. And we have three of these, reinforcements of the army, and of course the, engage, which lets you search any Sky Striker card, including Ray. So, you have a pretty good chance of getting them, but getting them in multiples, not something you want to see. Doesn't happen very often. In fact, I've had more problems with not drawing this than I have with drawing too many, but sometimes this is how you go, and it looks like we're playing against Ogdoadics, which is not good, because in addition to drawing this, which is probably going to be useless unless they're, like, Lair of Darkness Ogdo, I don't think is going to be useful. This is just a one-of. The fact that we drew it in both of our first duels, kind of crazy. And Metal Foes Fusion, this is also a one-of that you play for, like, certain niche situations. Not good in your hand. Usually want to send it straight from the deck to the graveyard. Or you use your field spell on it. You send it to the graveyard because it has an effect in the graveyard. So we might be in a spot of bother. It really depends what our draw for turn is and what else they can set up. Whether or not these two will be good. I mean, this won't be, yeah, depends. We might be able to make some use of this. This, probably not. But we'll see. We'll be back when they're done doing stuff. Alright, so they've ended on these two, which do have kind of a floodgate thing. But they're not... The question is, what do I want to do? I have... You know what, let's try for this. This is a neat thing. How we OTK with this deck. We've got a couple different ways. But the one that's a little bit more original, kind of a throwback, is doing this. So if you summon a Sky Striker, you can summon Rose, and the two of them make Utopia double. This actually won't OTK on this board, I don't think, but we could certainly try. This can detach to search a double or nothing, unless it gets Ash Blossomed. If it gets Ash Blossomed, then we just sit on a 2500 beater and we can't do anything. Unfortunate. Aha, but I can activate it during my opponent's turn! I can't OTK during my opponent's turn, but at least having a, Utopia, that'll give me something. This can negate an attack against it. And they've only got 2 monsters at the moment. Granted, they're about to have a lot more, I feel like. Only time will tell, but maybe we have a chance. I actually didn't know that Utopia Double had an effect, or had a quick effect you could use during either player's turn. Because 90% of the time when I summon this, it's just game over. Yep, the only problem is, I think they're going to... Yeah, I don't think they can get over this. It depends what they have in terms of rank 8s. They've got a whole lot of stuff. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh no!
Oof. Reptilian Echidna. They can make my attack 0, and then they get to search. And that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I can negate 1 attack, but this can also, I think, destroy everything on the field. Everything that wasn't summoned out of the graveyard, and they can summon everything out of the graveyard. So, if they use this... No, they're not using that effect. Okay, so I'm not dead. I don't think. Yeah. Because I can negate that attack. And then this other thing says, if this card is targeted for attack while it has no material, you destroy this card. Wait, does that mean they get to attack again, or does that, like, the attack is declared and then this is gone? Oh? They get something? I'm really not sure how that ruling works. Attack declaration stuff is always kind of confusing. If they can attack again, I'm dead. If they can't, then I'm not dead. They can attack again, which means, unfortunately, I'm dead. Yeah, just kind of both drawing all the monsters, and they had the Ash. I tried to go big, and it didn't work out, but that's fine. Let's go. Oh, wait. Did they just goofed up really bad? Oh, snap. Oh, we might have a chance to do something. Oof. Sorry to hear, buddy. Would have had the OTK, and then you messed up. The question is, can I do anything with this opportunity I've been given? Alright, they're just bringing these two back. I see. Interesting. Okay, so we just want to normal summon Ray. We're just gonna Ray. We're gonna use Ray to go into... what do I have in the graveyard? I have no Sky Striker spells in the graveyard whatsoever, so we're just gonna go for Hayate. Try to get some Sky Striker stuff into the graveyard. Poke for a little bit of damage, you know how it is. Give him the old 2800 attack point tickle. Cacao. And that'll allow me to send a card. And we're going to send the Engage. Always send Engage. A lot of people play more than one Hayate. And I guess you need it in a more competitive format because that'll get negated. But online, I found that I only really needed the one. And then once I got Engage in rotation, I never really wanted to summon Hayate again. You have a way to recycle it if you really need to. Okay, so we had that back. We don't have 3 spells, I don't think. They can add a dark red. Okay. Oh, come on! American Sniper. I thought this was the ad. It's no, when you add one back, you can do stuff. Okay. That's cool. How many spells is that? 2. Damn. Oh wait, they used a monster. They use a monster effect, you can triple tactic talents. What do I want to do? I need to draw 2 cards. I need some, like, stuff in this, man. Alright. Foolish. Foolish. Okay, wait, we got Area 0. So, Area 0, we can set this, finally. Activate it. Look at the top 3. Add a Sky Striker. Hey. We've already got an Eagle booster, so we'll take the Shark Cannon. And then this in the graveyard, you can shuffle it back into the deck and then draw a card. It's all it's really useful for, just getting you an extra card. But the thing is, you know, first turn, if you've already got Engage in the graveyard, you can use this to get Engage in the graveyard, or you can use it to send Metal Foes Fusion, and then I have a draw for next turn. And also, it puts 2 spells in the graveyard, so now I have a whole bunch of stuff in the graveyard. So, we're actually pretty good. I want to make sure I summon Shizuku. There you go. And again, if you're new to this, it's always kind of weird to me, because this has been around for so long, but my audience is largely this, let's go for Widow Anchor, so we have it for next turn. My audience is largely casual. The 2 main Sky Strikers, Kagari and Shizuku, the fire and the water. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and activate Eagle Booster. This says I'm unaffected by all other card effects, and also I can't be destroyed by battle. And yeah, Shizuku lowers their attack by 100 for every spell in the graveyard. Kagari gains 100 attack for every spell in the graveyard. So as you go on, the more stuff you get, the more crazy it gets. Is this enough to save me, though? Do I have enough life points to survive? I probably should have countered on that. Damn, is that exactly 600? No, okay. I'm bad at math. I'm still alive, though. This was a triumph. And they're getting down on stuff. Yeah, let's just banish this. No, I don't want to summon it. Yeah, this is banish a card from the graveyard, and then if you have 3 or more spells, you could steal it instead. A lot of people play this at 2 just to out graveyard decks, but again, I play it at 3 because I want to be stealing their stuff and using it for link material. In this case, I'm just trying to prevent them from doing anything else. I want to keep this on the field. I want to be able to do all my stuff. Go into next turn. If I can get the thing and keep it, I'll be good. Most good indeed. Send all monsters from the field to the graveyard, except monsters special summoned out of the graveyard. Alright. So we've already got our Area 0. So we're going to use our Area 0 on the terraforming. Just to get an extra bonus card. Alright, that baits out the Ash. They didn't want to use it on the other thing. Let's go ahead and use our Metal Foes Fusion, try to draw an additional card. This deck is all about just drawing cards. Ooh, Widow Anchor. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and Widow Anchor now. We're going to steal this. It negates it, and then if you have 3, it steals it. Can't use its effect because it's negated, but we can use it as link material. Go into Zeke. Yo, what up? Zeke, when it's summoned, banish a monster on the field. Let's go ahead and banish this one. Just get it off here. We don't want to deal with it. 65. I forget how much access code has with all the things. Now let's keep it going just a little bit longer, shall we? Let's go ahead. We'll use Zeke to make Kagari. Kagari will get our... oh wait, no, the Engage back. What was I thinking? Engage will finally get our Mobilize, or our Multi-Roll. Multi-Roll, Multi-Roll, and then we get to draw an additional card. Just crazy. Did you use a monster effect this turn? Hell yeah. Take control of a monster until the end phase. Yeah, we'll just take that. Just easier. Just give me this. 23, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's almost game. That might be game. Actually, yeah. Then we use multi-roll. I'm not going to be able to explain its effect, but it can send a card to make it so your opponent can't respond to spells. And if you send the field spell, you can summon a Ray or a Sky Striker from the deck. And so with all those stolen, we somehow turned that into a win. We shouldn't have. Oh, I didn't even need that. But you can get the idea how you can do it. But, yeah, we should not have won that one. They messed up when they had a game. I'm going to put an asterisk next to it. But, as I've said oftentimes, sometimes you win, and sometimes your opponent loses. This is why you never surrender until the last moment. Unless you're in a tournament and there's, like, a time factor. Either way, let's go into the third duel. Alright, duel number 3 versus Shakur. Could it be Tupac Shakur? Possibly? I don't know. I've never really listened to him. Hey, we got a pretty good hand. We got, basically, if you get a couple Sky Striker spells, and also a Mobilize Engage, so you can search out your Ray. I mean, if we draw a Ray for turn, then we can use this to search out any spell trap we want. Which is really the big interesting thing about Sky Strikers. It's like the only meta deck I can think of since, like, early Yu-Gi-Oh! That's actually a toolbox. The whole deck revolves around the fact that you're searching whatever tool you need from this big list of things, and getting that. Looks like we're going to have to out-Dragoon, which we can do, but it's not easy. This makes me think. I got a Thunkarino, because I can't steal this, is the thing. Because I can't target it. There is a way to get rid of it with Ningirsu, but I don't want to, Ningirsu, that's kind of a big, it's kind of a big ask. And they've got other stuff to back it up. At least we could steal the Dark Magician, possibly. Okay, that's pretty good. Hey, that's pretty good. Let's start with the Foolish Burial Goods. This will get 2 spells in the graveyard right away. And since we already have the multi-roll, or the engage, we can just use it on Metal Foes Fusion. That's 2. Once we get more than 3, we'll be able to do something. And I think what we want to do is just Mind Control, steal the face down. Because that'll get the 3rd spell into the grave. Maybe they'll negate it, possibly not. We still haven't revealed what we're playing. Once they know it's Sky Strikers, then you always save it for the engage, because it's only at 1. Okay, they're using it now. Okay, so that's the negate. So what I can do Oh, it's only a face-up. Okay. That's fine. Control no monsters in your main monster zone. You target one spell trap on the field, destroy it. Then if you have 3 or more, destroy 1 monster. Okay. So we'll get rid of this back row. And then we'll also get to destroy a monster. And we're not going to pick the one that can't be destroyed because it can't be destroyed. That's 3 in the graveyard now, right? Yeah. 4, rather. So now we can use the Metal Foes Fusion without having to worry. Dark Magic Inheritance. Add 1 spell trap from your deck to your hand. Okay, that's all their disruption, though, I think, at this point. Which means I think I can just go ham. Whatever that means. I like bacon better. Comment in the comments which one you prefer. Okay, they got the Eternal Soul for next turn. That's something we'll have to deal with. Hey, we got a monster. Okay, so the question is, can we get to the Ningirsu? So this isn't really useful at the moment because they've got no monsters that can be destroyed and no spell traps. So we're going to set this, we're going to use the Area 0 on the Afterburners. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and take the multi-roll. The multi-roll lets you... Oh wait, if I do this, I can... Okay. We're going to try this again, and hopefully this time it'll work. So we're going to use the multi-roll on the Area 0. We're going to get a Ray. This is probably not optimal, but I want to do this. Special Summon Rose. We're going to get the Utopia double. We're going to detach the Ray to get the double or nothing. Summon Big Utopia. We attack. We negate our own attack. Activate double or nothing. This won't OTK, but it will get rid of the Dragoon, and it'll get them down to a very low amount of health. Just 2,000. And then because we have a monster in the main monster zone, we can go ahead, activate the engage. We're going to go for the Eagle Booster, because this is actually very good in this specific situation. Then draw a free card. Guess I shouldn't have gone for the Eagle Booster. What do we have in the grave? Area 0. I think we want the Jamming Wave. So the thing about the multi-roll is that for every Sky Striker card you've activated this turn, you get to target one in the graveyard and set it to your side of the field. We only activated one. It's after you've activated this. We banish it when it leaves the field, but because of this, it allows us to use every card twice. And yeah, they've just surrendered. Because all they're going to do is set their Eternal Soul. Yeah. And I can blow that up. I can negate this if you don't... I forget if I mentioned this already, but you can target a monster. It is unaffected by all card effects this turn. It's just a towers for the turn. And then if you have 3 or more spells, it can't be destroyed by battle either. So just having this 5,000 attack monster, if they can't get anything on the field, they're doomed. Every time we're activating one of these, we're going to get another one of these back for the next turn because of how multi-roll works. And we still have a lot of ways to top deck into our Ray so we could get our Sky Striker stuff going again. So there we go. We get a win. We actually out something. Wasn't the greatest deck, but that's one way you can get rid of Dragoon. Let's go ahead into the 4th duel. Alrighty, here we are. Duel number 4 versus a Dingus. I'm curious what the origin of that word is. I know it's used for someone, like, not intelligent, I believe. I'm not sure if it's, I don't know, I'm just always curious about entomology. Looks like we're playing against counter fairies. They got Bountiful Artemis, hit it with the Ties of the Brethren, Can't special summon for the rest of the turn, but you get 2 other monsters. And all these monsters gain effects when you activate a counter trap, so if they got a counter trap, we might be in for a spot of bother. This is actually one of the big weaknesses of this deck. Gain 1,000, draw a card. Gain 500 attack. This name becomes Sanctuary of the Sky. Oh, okay. So they can destroy cards too. Set spell traps cannot be targeted or destroyed. Alright, so I think I want to go for Dark Ruler No More this time. This will stop all their monsters from doing stuff. Well, that's one way to bait something out. Okay, usually they don't take any damage after that, but because it got negated, I think we're good. Can I just Raigeki now? Do I just win this without having to act? There's the other Solemn Judgment. So that's the thing about these cards. These cards aren't really, or like cards like Raigeki, not great in the modern day, but they can bait out negation, and sometimes it's all you really need. So we're going to use the Terraforming. We'll get our space 0, and I can show off an interesting trick. So this targets a card, and then it sends it to the graveyard on resolution. And it doesn't have to actually send it to get the, like, look at the top 3. So you can target Ray. Ray has a quick effect where she can link summon using herself. So we can do that, get the... Yeah, I think we just want to go into Hayate for now. We might be able to get game here, actually. Add a striker card, yes. And then, yeah, that resolves, so we get this. I could summon this, that would be 2 monsters. I could steal a 3rd one. I don't have a way to get into a 4th. Although I could Kagari back, and then... Yeah, let's try that. So... Oh wait, not yet. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to activate this. We're going to steal Bountiful Artemis. Just give me that. We're going to special summon Kagari. Kagari is going to get back the Widow Anchor. Then we're going to use these 2 to make our Link 2, which is Zeke. Zeke will banish 1 monster. We will take the other one. And we'll summon Rose. So Rose comes out. I get this. That goes away. And I could make access code Talker, but I don't need to because they're already down to 3,000. So I could just attack with everything here. Why add insult to injury? But yeah, that's the thief part of this deck. It's something that all the meta decks can do, but it feels like they don't lean into it as much as maybe they could. I don't know. I feel like this deck is probably better for beginners when you're trying not to learn with like a million hand traps, when it's easier to get 3 spells in the grave. Because that's what the meta decks do, is play a whole lot of hand traps. But, yeah, I think there's something to this, just being able to steal stuff. We'll see. Let's go ahead into the 5th duel and see what more we can do. Alrighty, duel number 5 versus Nick. We get to go second once again. Man, this Harpy's Feather Duster just glued to my hand. Just call me Hardleg Feather Hands, flying about here like a little bird, like a little cheep cheep. I don't know what I'm on about. Well, that was weird. I told Wyncrer to skip, but like, they did tour guide into Sangan, use it to make Nightmare Phoenix for some reason instead of the thing they usually make, and then just use the Sangan to search another tour guide, presumably for next turn. Are you playing Noctivision Dragon and Black Stone of Legend? This is a very weird Dragon Link deck. I got Triple Burst Dragon. Alright. Awesome. Can I get a monster? Thank you. That would have been worrying. What does this do? During the damage step, when a spell trap or effect monster activates, unfortunately, Kagari, like, activates during the damage step. Oh wait, no, I'm fine, though. We'll just go to Ray. Ray will go into Hayate. Hayate. We'll just Eagle Booster now. Why not? We'll go ahead and attack. We'll attack directly. Katkow, 15. Send that dang old. What? You gonna Ash Blossom? I'm unaffected. I don't think you can Ash Blossom me. Or you could try to activate this. It won't work, but because I'm unaffected. But you could try it. It'd be funny. I mean, you certainly got to bait out some stuff, so that's good. Let's send engage. Let's engage in some of this stuff. Let's go ahead and Kagari. Kaka. We'll add that back. Unfortunately, we're not going to get the +1 because there's just no way. I mean, let's see. Do we activate a card and then... Yeah, there's no way to get the +1, unfortunately. So we're just going to use this to search. And I think... I'm tempted to get Aerospace so we can get rid of these, but I think we just want to keep up the card advantage. So let's go for the Widow Anchor. Just use that to stop doing whatever we want to do. We'll set the Widow Anchor. We'll go into Shizuku. Shizuku during the end phase. We'll get, now we'll get Area 0. So we'll have a lot of stuff to potentially use it on. These two are both potentially dead. At least this way we can get it out of the way while doing something. There might be better things to search. It depends on the matchup. That's kind of what makes this a really high-skill deck, is the fact that knowing what to search and when to search with all your various searches actually makes this, like, really non-linear. Yeah, we'll just stop the normal summon, right? Oh, I just negated. I didn't have enough. Yeah. Stop the normal summon, make you waste the tour guide. It doesn't look like you had a whole bunch of special summons and stuff. Make a Link 4, perhaps. It'd honestly be better, because this triple burst being able to stop me in the... Okay, it's not better after all, because they're going to make another Dragoon, and I'm tired of having to deal with Dragoon. Although they're making me dark, so maybe Super Poly? No, they're just going for that. Yeah, let's go ahead while we can. We'll activate Ray. She tribute herself off. Summon a Kagari. And the Kagari will add back the engage. Computer, engage. Okay. Let's go ahead and activate this just to get spells in the graveyard. You gonna use your 1 negate on that? I wouldn't recommend it. But if you want to, you save me a Dark Ruler no more. Tell you what, buddy. This is my opponent is not the most experienced player. They don't know a whole lot. So the question is, do we just want to go for the oh wait, we can actually use the Ningirsu this time, right? Right. Let's go ahead and do this. There's actually a bunch of different ways to do this, but I think I can get game faster if I do this. So let's get the Widow Anchor. And then we get to draw a card. Yes. Thank you. Advantage City. We'll activate this. We'll steal the Anaconda. Oh wait, can this not be used as link material? Did I forget about this? No, it can. Okay. So we'll steal the Anaconda. We need 3 scales worth of link monsters so we can get Ningirsu. And Ningirsu's effect is just like target a card on each side of the field and send it to the graveyard. 1 card from each player's field. Does not target, does not destroy, just sends to the graveyard. So I can send that, and you. Adios. Have a good one. Let's go ahead and activate this while we're at it. This Feather Duster I don't think is going to be useful. We still don't have game. We could have maybe done the something else, but we're good. Add a Sky Striker card. Just another Widow Anchor. I mean, honestly, that's fine, though. Because at this point, that's the thing about card advantage, right? Like, it's like, all I have is a thing to make me invincible for a turn and one effect negate. But you don't have anything. So any one card, if I can negate it, is good, unless you got graveyard stuff. I forget what Noctivision does exactly. You can add back your own red eyes. Okay. But can you summon that red eyes? Does it help you? Mr. Grinch. Do-do-do-do-do. And something about oil. It has to be a face-up monster. Okay. We're good. Hey, Rose. Glad to see you. Yeah, and that's the end of the game then. Because a rank 3 and a rank 1, 3 plus 1 equals a link 4. You only need 2 monsters. That allows me to target the Ningirsu. Gain that, and then I can banish a link monster from the graveyard, and we have all different attributes. Which is why Access Code Talker... Normally I try not to play Access Code Talker in most of my decks, because it's something that, like, every deck can make Access Code Talker. If you could put 4 monsters on the field during the course of a turn, you can just OTK with this. But it has specific synergy with the Sky Strikers, because it has to banish the different attributes of links, and all the Sky Striker links are different attributes. So it's not too difficult on, like, when you get to turn 4 again, where you usually win, your graveyard will have like all 6 attributes, or will have 5 out of the 6. And you can just blow up your opponent's entire field, attack for 5,300. There you go. So 5 duels in, doing pretty good. Let's take a little break, shall we? Let's have a little chat. So here we are, 5 duels down, 5 duels to go. And if you're familiar with the show, I thought I'd try something a little different. Usually I release a separate deck profile video, and those don't do very well. So I thought instead what I'd do is halfway through, I'd sit down and talk about anything that hasn't shown up yet. Anything specific about the deck or the ratios, and everyone else you could just skip ahead. Although I do want to mention real briefly, if you're liking the show, perhaps consider donating to my Patreon. I would certainly appreciate it. It's how we fund the show, and just $1 really helps. But yeah, real quick, let's go ahead and talk about my ratios and such, because that's the one thing that really separates my version of the deck from any other deck on YouTube. If you look up Sky Striker 2021, most of the builds you're seeing are going to be playing 5 or 6 hand traps, all of them at 3, just because it's something this deck can do. Really all you need to get started is the 1 Ray, or possibly this, although most builds only play 2 of this because she's not as good as Ray. Either get that, or you get the reinforcements to the army, or you get the engage, and then you make Hayate, you send the engage to the graveyard, you get it back with Kagari, and you just start the loop. And then they're going to be playing a lot of these at 2 or even 1, because they can just search them out when they need them. A lot of people play Afterburners at 2, Eagle Boosters often not seen at all, and Shark Cannon will usually be played at 2 as well. Because I'm playing a go second build that's not disrupting the opponent during their turn, I need tools to break apart their boards on my turn. And I think Afterburners is a little bit underrated in that regard. You run it at 3, and you're almost never sad to see it, because it's just target a monster and destroy it. And then if you have 3 spells in the graveyard, you can also pop something else. There's just like never a time when it's really bad. As long as your opponent has resources, this is going to get rid of them, unless they happen to pass on just a Dragoon or something. As for the Shark Cannon, I can see how maybe you would want to put this at 2, because it is kind of situational, but almost every deck is going to have cards in the graveyard, and being able to steal them and use them for link climbing, I think is, it's the crux of what this deck is trying to do. Steal your opponent's resources. Obviously, you can chain this in response to them activating an effect to prevent them from doing stuff in the graveyard. But most of the time, I'm just like, summon a Ray, summon a Rose, steal 1 card with Widow Anchor, steal another card with Shark Cannon, and then we're going into a rank 4. Or, yeah, rank 4. We're going into Access Code Talker, or we're building the Utopia double or something like that. Or as you saw in the one case, you can use Widow Anchor twice, you can use Shark Cannon twice. I think I did have this at 2, and I had this at 2 originally. But I'm playing 41 cards just so I don't open double or nothing as much. This is really the one Garnet in the deck. You can get rid of this if you're not playing the Utopia double package. This, probably not as good as Access Code Talker, but maybe because people don't expect it, I've been getting a lot of games with this in testing. Games that I normally wouldn't win. In fact, I have a couple duels like in a Sky Striker Mirror where they're playing the meta version, and I win because I can bait out their one back row and then go into Utopia double much faster than they can go into Access Code Talker. That being said, there is a Access Code Talker line you should know about. If you're unfamiliar, Halka Fibrax can be made with any monsters, including a tuner. If you're playing all these hand traps, a lot of them are tuners. You can normal summon them, use your one Sky Striker or whatever, make Halka Fibrax. Halk will summon one of these tuners out of the deck. You use those two to go into Selene, that's a Link 3 that summons a Spellcaster from the deck, and Effect Veiler is a Spellcaster. And then 3+1 goes into your Access Code Talker. So there is a line to do it if you're playing the spell traps. I opted out, or not the spell traps, the hand traps. But I opted out of the hand traps, so I opted out of this line as well. But this could also be a good idea if Hulk ever gets banned, if Selene ever gets banned, if this ever gets banned. I don't think it's likely at this point, but you never know. These are all very powerful cards, staple cards, and if something comes out that breaks them, that might be useful. Other than that, the only other real big thing, probably Foolish Burial Goods. I saw a lot of people playing this at 2, and some not playing it at all, and I think you really want to max out on this card, because it just gets you started. It gets you 2 of the 3 cards you need in the graveyard with a single card. And it has so much toolbox potential. As you've seen, I can just send the Fusion, get myself a draw, I can send the Engage, and then be able to start plussing without having to use Hayate. But even beyond those two, like if you get this late game, as long as you've got a Sky Striker, as long as you can get to Kagari, then you can just send any card you want, and this is a way to search it out of the graveyard in a kind of roundabout way. I guess also the extra deck minds a little bit. I talked a little bit briefly, I'm not sure if it got cut out, but most people play like 3 Hayate. I think you only need 2 at most. I'm not really, maybe there's some combo or something, I don't know, but for me, Hayate is mostly like, you send Engage, and once it's in the graveyard, you don't really need another one. Maybe you want a second one to attack for game. Maybe you want a second one in case, like, the first one gets negated. You can recycle things with Hercules base, though, so if you need a second one. Personally, at least in this build where I'm stealing stuff constantly, I found it was better to have 2 Zeke, because this is the Link 2 Sky Striker. You can take your opponent's monster and make something. It helps you start that Link climbing up into the Nightmares and then Access Code. And sometimes I make this just on its own for the fact that it can get up to 2,500 really easily. I'm not sure if I've shown that yet, but I'll try to show it in the later duels. And same thing with Shizuku. A lot of people are playing 3 Shizuku. I usually end the game before I have to use all 3. Or if I can, I'll just use Hercules base and recycle them. 3 Kagari is a must. I definitely play the 1 Kaina and at least 1 Hayate or whatever. Ningirsu you want to play specifically to get rid of Dragoon. And the rest of this is just, you could fill this in with anything, really. Again, if you want to put this package. Side deck is mostly just stuff to show off what the meta version is. I would recommend playing more Jamming Waves because it's really good against like back row heavy decks. Forbidden Droplet is really good in this deck, but I felt it was already expensive enough playing the Triples Tactics talent without having to throw in another $100 card. But this is like, negate stuff, put spells in the graveyard, why not? I guess the reason I'm playing Triple Tact, by the way, is because it can steal opponents' monsters. It's good in general. Being able to draw cards or steal is very, very nice. It's not as good in an online environment. There's times when it's going to be dead, depending on the matchup. But I think especially in the meta, just an amazing card to help you play through all sorts of things. And, yeah, I guess Called by the Grave you'd probably want to play. I just didn't want to make it a 42-card deck. And Pot of Desires, a lot of meta decks are playing this. You can play it. I think it would work. You just got to be careful not to banish your 1 Engage or whatever. But most of the meta versions are just like, it's a spell you activate and it gets you more spells. Why wouldn't you play it? So yeah, I think that should explain most of the details about my build, why I've made the decisions I had. Let me know what you think about this, since it's like a new version of the show, how we're trying to do things. And if you have any more questions, just ask me down in the comments. I do try to respond to all of them. Otherwise, we've got 5 more duels. Let's see what else we can have this deck do. Alright, duel number 6 versus Higsby. I think we've got to go second in just about every time. Ooh, double Widow Anchor, double Ray, double Afterburners. The only unfortunate thing about this hand is we don't have any of our spells that, like, we can activate just to get stuff in the graveyard. And if they don't have any monsters, all this monster destruction and removal, gonna be a bad time. Okay. So, we're gonna get out. I'll work it out. So that fizzles, I think. I actually don't know what these amazements all do. Okay. Waiting. Do you have something else, young man? I'm assuming Higsby sounds like a guy's name. This is a young man. Pretty sure. Hard to say. Wait, no, her name is Kamika. Cyclo Coaster. So targets face-up monster your opponent controls. If you target your opponent, add an amazement card from your deck to your hand, and if you do, send this card to the graveyard. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. They're just getting in a search. Target one monster your opponent controls with an attraction. While this card is equipped, you take control of the equipped monster. While you have control, it gains 500 attack. You cannot activate its effects. Okay. So they're going to steal it. You know what, let's activate this on you. See if we can get him to chain his effect. Because if we can, then we could triple tactics talent and steal our own thing. No? Unfortunate. And then steal back my Hayate so I can use its effect. Give it to me. I want it. Take control of the monster? Yes. And its effects are negated, though. But that's fine, because I can still do almost 4,000 points of battle damage, right? And then make Zeke. Yeah! How do you like taking 2,000? Bada bingo, bada bungo. End of battlefield. Well, you got some kind of battle. Okay. Let's make Zeke just to get rid of something. No, I'm not going to use Zeke's effect. You can use Zeke to banish himself if you're afraid that, like, you're just not going to be able to protect it or whatever. And then it'll just come back. It banishes a card until the opponent's next end phase. And then you'll just get it back. So let's just go into Shizuke. The Shizuke Boot and Boogie. It's hard to let it go. Infinite impermanence, eh? I can't summon another one. I can't do another thing, so... yeah, just during the end phase, I can try to activate it, but this doesn't end until the end of the end phase, so... but they're pretty low on cards, and I can still recur my shit. So I'm feeling pretty good about this situation. Kaiju. That's unfortunate, but it's a kaiju and they have nothing. And I have 2 triple tactics talents. Why not just give me all 3? Why not just have triple the tactical talents? Against the deck with 1 monster and a kaiju. Alright. Yeah, and unfortunately that's one of the major weaknesses of Sky Strikers, right? Because if your monster is sent to the graveyard to summon a kaiju, it's not removed by a card effect, it's removed as material for a summon, or something like that. And also you have cards in your main monster zone now, which means it turns off all your Sky Striker spells. If I had any! I don't have any, but if I did. Or in the main monster zone, rather. Getting pretty low there, buddy. Yeah, I don't think you can, like, OTK me or anything. You've got barely more attack than me. I'm just wondering why they didn't summon this earlier, you know? Why didn't you do the thing? Why you got these colorful Karibos? Skibba-doop-bop-doop, hip-hop-hang. Oh no. Not my heart. I needed that. My spider. Alright. Ooh, Area 0. That'll be pretty good. Let's go ahead and try to activate Hornet Drones. This is at 1. Summon a token. That token is a Sky Striker, which means you can use it to make your Sky Striker cards. And he's going to equip it with something. Hey, what does this do? Change the equipped monster to face down defense position. You cannot. And also, I believe that's the end of the game, because now I can just take your Arlecchino and attack you with it. Bada bingo. Bada bingo. Just the whole game waiting for Triple's Tactics talent to be live. And as soon as it was, game over, man. Game over. Alright, here we are, duel number 7 fingers. It's the Fighting 7th. That's versus Bandit, which sounds almost like a bandit. I wonder if this is someone who knows my deck, or if it's just a coincidence. Hard to say, hard to leg. I changed my name specifically so people won't recognize me. But some people have been clever about figuring it out. If you're confused, all the Sky Strikers are apparently named after like fighter planes and stuff. Like there's like an F-19 Widow or whatever, and a not that one though, but like there's a something Hornet, and Ray is apparently the name of the A6M0. It was called Ray or something, Ray Sen, I believe, by the pilots or the pilots were called Rays or something. I don't know. I just briefly looked it up on YGOPro, and that's what I did. That's how my life goes. Let's see. So, let's go ahead. We'll start off by summoning Ray. Howdy. How's it going? Having a fun time? The only thing I'm worried about is this back row. Super Poly. I cannot react to Super Poly. Destruction Swordsman. I am dark, so Starving Venom? Yeah, just Starving Venom. 2800, what does this do? If this fusion summon card is destroyed, it can destroy all your opponent's special summoned monsters. Okay, that doesn't hurt me that mad. So let's go ahead and activate multi-roll. Before we start activating stuff, let's get the Hornet Drones, which fortunately we summoned. If we didn't have this, we would be screwed. But fortunately, we just happened to get all the best stuff all at once. Let's go into Hayate. Let's give the 2300 attack tickle. Ouch. Let's send the engage. Of course, the limited Hornet Drones. I was very lucky. Some people would be like, all skill, baby, but it's not skill. I was very lucky. Go ahead into the Kagari. Kagari, get back. Engage. We're not going to be able to get the 3. This is like the most trouble I've had getting 3 into the graveyard. Get that. We'll get, I think we're just going to get the Afterburners, because we just want to get rid of this right now. We'll go ahead, activate that, destroy the Starving Venom. Venom will destroy Kagari. That'll float into the Ray. And then I've got my system going while getting into Shizuku. So then we can set... I don't think I want to set all three just in case they have like a feather duster or something. And then during the end phase, we're going to do the Shizuku Shuffle. This is a neat thing you can do. So Shizuku searches during the end phase, which normally means it would be useless, but you can get like an Eagle Booster or any quick play. You could do this with Widow Anchor as well. And then since it's a quick play, you can immediately use it on Shizuku, like negate her effects or make her immune for this 2 seconds. And then because it's the end phase, multi-roll can now set anything that you've used this turn. Which means even if you had activated nothing else, you can get the Eagle Booster back. Get the Eagle Booster, we'll get the Afterburner, and we'll get the Hornet Drones. We'll just get all three. Even though I just realized that's going to make it so I don't have enough spells in the graveyard to actually do the effect. Which is something I should have thought about. But that's fine-ish. I can still survive. I have so many resources. Surely I won't just die. Surely. You must be Shroomin'. Let's go ahead and this is why we play the Eagle Booster. Just, I don't want to use my effect negate on that. All you're going to do is target her. Whatever, nerd. You have a 0 attack, go for it. Fusion Hua! Oh, okay, they just discard to get something. Gotcha. And then I still have the Widow Anchor. And the Hercules base. If this is an equip card, the monster it's equipped to can attack twice, and you get to draw a card every time, but it can only attack monsters. So it's not very useful for that, but sometimes it is. Mostly if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can get 3 Sky Strikers in the grave and shuffle them back into the deck. Yep, they lost, unfortunately. Didn't even make it to turn 4. I just had that inevitability. Oh, pardon me, that inevitability. But yeah, as I was saying, if you look at our graveyard, that's the extra deck. F1, if you're curious. That's one of the things. It's like we have the Hayate. I could go into another Kagari, get back the Engage or whatever. And then I could use either Area 0 or this. Send the Hercules base to the graveyard. And that'll allow me to shuffle back the Hayate and 2 Kagaris and like a Shizuku. Or just one of each back into the graveyard. And at that point, it's like, honestly, if you have a game that goes so long that you have to use like more than 3 Kagaris, more than 2 Shizukus, more than 3 if you had to use all those, you've probably already lost. Either way, the fighting 7th wasn't that much of a fighting, although we got to show off some things. Good to show off being very lucky. Let's go ahead into the 8th duel. Alright, duel number 8, the Ocho versus 0 chance. I wonder what my chances of winning are. I have to laugh goofily like that occasionally. Alright, well, we've got the reinforcements of the army, which is good. We've got the 0 with this, which is good. We're against a set 4 pass, which is unfortunately not very good. Fortunately, though, we've got this. So we can just banish this while we're here and ensure that they can't fusion summon the way they want to. Send 1 Destruction Sword and 1 Buster Blader. Alright. 1 Destruction Sword and 1 Buster Blader coming up. And I'm going to banish those 2. Fuck, I forget which one I've already targeted. Okay, that's the target of the chain. Yeah, I'm just not letting you have any Buster Bladers in the graveyard. You're just not going to do... You can get your Buster thing. You can make everyone dragons if you want. At the 3rd one. Another one. And then you can equip it with... Oh, should I have targeted the thing? I thought they were going for the fusion. I didn't think they were going for this. Your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. That's kind of what I'd like to do. Let's go ahead and use this. Let's get the Area 0. Let's go ahead and search Ray while we're at it. Ray is cool, even though we can't summon with it at the moment. We will set this, activate. The unfortunate thing is, even if we use Dark Ruler no more, it won't negate the spell trap. Ooh, if only we could have added something else. Let's go for the Eagle Booster. If only it let you add any card, and then we'll Metal Foes Fusion to get an extra card. Everything worked out alright. Goodbye. Go away. I do not want you here anymore. Doesn't that just make your monsters so they can't be targeted or whatever? Oh. Oh. Destruction Sword cards! That includes those. A sad state of affairs. Yeah. Yeah. I think that may be it, unfortunately. They lock me out of the extra deck. There's not a lot I can do, especially if they have a way to stop this from being destroyed. My only hope now is top-decking Afterburners. Granted, I do play 3 Afterburners, and I have the Engage, and I still have this, so I can try to get into Engage, so it's not entirely gone. I'll have a turn or two. I think this dies at, like, the end of the turn, too. So that'll be helpful. So I've got a fairly good chance. Let's see. Alright. Yeah, I've got the Shark Cannons. The question is, what do I want to use? I kind of don't want to get rid of this in case they do get the fusion, but at the same time, these I think are more useful because my links wouldn't necessarily be affected by it. I don't have enough to shuffle back. Yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of this. Maybe that's the bad move, but we'll see. 1, 2, 3. That'll work. That'll work, buddy. Let's get the... Oh, wait. Let me read this real quick. While this card is equipped to a monster, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. So if I control it, I don't know if that... Yeah, I think it's better to just try to destroy the monster. Hopefully. So we'll activate Jamming Waves. That pops your face down card. And then because I have 3 or more spells in the graveyard, I can pop you as well. And then that allows me to get into the extra deck. And that's just pretty much game. On turn 4, you have Inevitability. I don't think there's any way they can recover from this. I could be wrong. I could be strong. What's in the graveyard that I could potentially get back? Just the Shark Cannons? I think at the moment I'm good. I think we're just going to go for the Searchy-Doo. We can't put on a whole lot of damage or anything. Not with this current hand. Alright. We'll send the Engage. Main phase 2. We'll go into Kagari. Get back the Engage. We'll search for Widow Anchor because that's our big disruption card. And then we get to draw a free card. Hey, who doesn't like free cards? Rose, that's pretty nice. Set. Shizuku. No, we won't summon that. And then during the end phase, we'll get the multi-roll so we have it for next turn. And that way we just pile on more and more, like... Again, this sense of inevitability where it's like, I may not have won yet, but it's going to be very difficult for you to come back from this position. Next turn. Oh wait, I didn't even use my Engage. I forgot. I'm 2 ahead. Yeah, so I could have used this, got my 3rd Shark Cannon, summoned, make something else. This does have a graveyard effect. I thought I just read this. Fusion summon 1 from your extra deck by banishing the materials. Okay. So you fusion summon that. Do I want to continue the battle? Yes. We'll just go ahead and use this. Take the target? Yeah. I can't attack directly with it. Oh wait, its effects are negated. Its effects are negated, so I can attack with it. And then just to make sure you don't get that back, because it's only stolen until the end of the turn. Yeah, we're fine. Special summon success? Nope. Let's Shazook. And we'll go ahead and activate this. We've already got an Eagle booster. We'll just get another Widow Anchor. And that's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. She tried to write more things, but she couldn't get to it. Her hands were just too shaky. I'm pretty sure. They might have one more thing. Let's get an Afterburner. At this point, we're almost out of things to search. The rest of our deck is like generic stuff. And no matter what they put, we can just normal summon Kagari and attack directly for 1500 anyway, so... yeah! There you go! Looks like they were the one who stood zero chance, except for they were actually pretty close to getting me in some kind of lockdown. That would have been dangerous if not for the fact that I have so much draw power. It's just insane. But we got another win. We've been exclusively on wins. Let's go into the next duel. That'll be 9. Will we go 10 out of 10? With Sky Strikers? It seems likely. Alright, the real duel number 9 versus Kit Kats. Give me a break, perhaps? Deliciousness? Another hand geared towards monsters. Will my opponent summon monsters? Or will we get another deck? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's not looking good. There's one set. There's a spell. Granted, this spell, okay, maybe they're summon a monster? Looks like they might summon a monster. However, it doesn't look like they'll be summon a monster that can activate its effects during my turn. Doesn't seem like it. I don't think they're... I mean, I guess if they went for, like, Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon or something, that might do something. Otherwise, I think I probably... I don't know. Okay, it looks like they're not doing much of anything. They're going to end on exactly one monster, the Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon. Let's see. If this is special summoned, you can add a ritual spell or a polymerization from your hand to the deck. Oh, and then add during the end phase. Okay. You can banish this card from your graveyard. All level 8 or higher gain 1000 attack. You can use each effect once per turn. Alright. The multi-roll is actually not good in this specific situation. In these circumstances, I'm afraid of whatever this back row is. I guess we'll go ahead and try to start filling up the graveyard, though. Get rid of that, please. I'm worried because Blue Eyes can OTK now. They have access to that rank 8 pool that you gotta watch out for. You gotta be worried about it. Kaboom! Alright, let's summon the Ray. Let's Ray away. Doing a thing. Hayate. Kudosai. I don't actually know Japanese. I'm just making weird sounds with my mouth. Technically, that's what all talking is. Just don't tell that to your English professor. They might be a little upset. Just a slight bit. Okay, we got stuff into rotation. Let's go to Kagari. Is this where you hit me with the... Okay. I'm worried about the Solemns, you know. Solemns, not good. So the question is, what do I want to search? I just want an Eagle booster. Because they've got, that's the thing, is they got that rank 8. And I need to worry about that because that's the thing that's going to potentially kill me. Even if I Eagle booster, I still take the damage, which is what you want to worry about. Please hit this with Ash. I would actually love if they Ash Blossomed this, because then I could activate my triple tactics talent. I cannot. Yeah, I think we're just going to go for the Widow Anchor. And is that 3? So that's 2 spells. All I can do is negate the back row. I could blow myself up. I could... Oh, wait, I can... Okay, we'll activate this. We'll at least be able to do this part. We can Shizuku Shuffle an Eagle Booster. So we'll have the booster and the anchor, and that'll hopefully give us a better chance of survival, I'd like to think. And, okay, so in order to get 3 into the graveyard, I'm actually going to set the triple tack, because I don't think they're going to be using it on my turn anyway, and we'll just send it to the graveyard with this effect. We gain nothing from it. It doesn't do anything. We're just doing it so that we have 3 in the graveyard, so we can steal, and so that Eagle Booster will protect me from battle as well. Because it's likely how they're going to get rid of me. In a deck like Blue Eyes, at least. Other decks, not so much. Okay, end phase. We get Shizuku. We'll boost her Eagles. An Eagle is a type of plane. I think I mentioned that earlier. The AM60 Mitsubishi is like a type of plane. And so are all the Sky Striker things are kind of named after that. Okay. We got an Eagle Booster, we got a Widow Anchor, we've got Ray in the graveyard. That gives us access to a lot of different kinds of disruption. I think I've showed it once in a duel, like, they destroy this, I can summon the Ray back, Ray has a quick effect so she can go back into any Sky Striker. And the one I barely summoned, the Kaina, the Earth one, is like your one defensive Sky Striker. It's, what was it? If this card is special summoned, target a monster, it cannot attack until the end of your opponent's turn. So if they've got a whole bunch of stuff where, like, they've gotten rid of the back row, they've destroyed this, they're going in for the... You could summon the Kaina and then target one of their monsters and be like, you can't attack. And if all they have is the one monster left, then that'll hopefully be enough to, prevent them from OTKing the crap out of you. Let's go ahead into the Kagari now, just in case. And I'll get back my engage. They got 1 spell negate. I mean, that is good for the long game. I'm curious why they decided to do a long game instead of trying to just end it there. Alright, let's see if they negate this. I wouldn't if I were them, but they could certainly try. Send that. Just a free draw card. Hopefully I don't draw the fusion. Okay, I got that. I could show them what they should have done. I'm still worried about whatever this back row is. So, let me read what this does. Your opponent cannot target this with card effects. You can detach 1 materials. Okay. 3,000. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bait them out with the engage. They're going to be like, that's my chance. I'm going to negate that. Don't think I won't. Unless they're waiting for whatever I search, and then they can negate that, perhaps? No, you always go for the engage, because then I get more stuff, and it keeps it out of rotation. But then I can Afterburners. I can pop this card, and whatever the back row is that I'm afraid of. Oh, but they can stop this from being destroyed, I think, right? This card is treated in a monster while it's in the hand or the graveyard. I have to... No! I tried to look at the graveyard and it crashed. Damn. That would have been an interesting... I could have actually hit him with the Utopia double and just OTK'd. That was my hope. Unfortunately, we'll never know what was actually in that graveyard. I hate when that happens. I don't know why. Sometimes when you try to look at, like, what material they have, or what is in the graveyard, or what's in there, you try to check something, I guess, when something else is happening. It crashes it. I don't understand. Either way. I don't think I want to redo that entire thing. I think we'll just count that as another win with like an asterisk. Like, unless they've been holding on to Solemn Strike or like fucking Mirror Force for this whole time and just never used it until now, I think I would have been good. Or maybe Torrential Tribute, and then they could have done something. Yeah, it's possible. We'll put an asterisk. I've got 2 asterisks. Either way, let's go into the 10th and final duel. Alright, here we are, the 10th, the final duel. Will we go undefeated, or will... I mean, I should have lost. This is not on the same level as, like, the Lyralusk deck, or the Element Saber deck, or any of the other ones where I've gone undefeated. There was that one I clearly should have lost against Ogdoadic, and they misclicked. And I'm not so certain about that Blue Eyes deck. They might have had a way to come back. I think at that point they were running low on resources, and I would have been good. But hard to say, hard to leg. Either way, we're going up against some kind of Dragon Link, it looks like. Which is going to be a very difficult thing. Although we have the Dark Ruler no more, which is, very helpful. Going into Drag Unite Romulus. Let's see what they make, and I'll be back at the end board. Alright, well that was underwhelming. All they seem to have made is the Heavenly Spheres. And unfortunately, I have no monsters, which is no good. It's something I work. Okay, so during the opponent's turn, you contribute 1 monster, return 1 card to the hand. I'm kind of tempted to like try to Raigeki it, and then when they use it, I can triple Tactics Talent. But that's also such a waste of Raigeki, because if they do build a board, Dark Ruler Raigeki is pretty nice. I could also try to bait it out with a multi-roll, but I can't actually do anything with the multi-roll. Oh, let's try that first. Maybe they'll try to return it to my hand. Maybe. No. Ooh, Rivalry of Warlord. That could be bad. Do we really want to just be activating stuff to get cards into the graveyard? Yeah, probably. Okay, go Raigeki. Didn't even hesitate. Turn 1 face-up card. Interesting. Wouldn't summon it out of the deck or anything. That's 1. That's... I guess that... It's all I can do. Unfortunately, I'm a victim of my opponent's... Try to think, I'm not a victim of my own success. I am a victim of my opponent's inability to succeed. A more competent deck, I could, like, Raigeki, then they negate it, then I draw 2 cards, then I Dark Ruler no more, and all these things happen, and because they didn't, add 1 Dragon Maid spell trap from hand. Okay, it's Dragon Maids. Alright, just go into the battle phase with these, are ya? I feel like, isn't this 8? Can't you make Borreload Savage Dragon? Wouldn't that be a really good thing to make, perhaps? Get you a negate and a lot more of attack on board? Maybe some links? You could do some link summoning, Jeremy? I mean, I know it says your name is Penny, but I'm assuming it's actually Jeremy. No reason why. I just like to give people different names. What is in a name? A rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Just ending there. Who needs Dragon Link? No, Dragon Play on the Field. Ah, the double or nothing. Why the double or nothing? Boop, 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 boop. So the question is, this can steal a monster, it cannot attack, but it can have 2800 defense, which might be enough to do something, and all I have to do to get to it is sacrifice everything. So, let's try... No, first of all, let's see if we could get them to activate Rocket Tracer. They probably won't, but let's see if they can. We'll activate this. It's like they don't even have chain on. It's not waiting like a second or anything. Okay. Dark Ruler no more. And then we can Mecha Shark. 24, 28. It can't attack. It can activate its effects. Is there anything good that I would want to do? No. I don't think so. I think we just want to... Once per turn, you can special summon one dragon from your hand or graveyard. Yeah, we'll just go for Absorouter. We're just walling up, baby! And then, sure, Mecha Modules will get them back at least. So we can still screw over their graveyard. Just a defense wall. Just using my opponent's defense wall. This is why you don't necessarily run triple... I get this sometimes, where people are like, why aren't you playing, like, X staple in the meta? Triple Tactics talent is great. Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. Phantasme. It's like, because half the time I go against decks like this that aren't using their quick effects. They could be summoning stuff during my turn, and they're just choosing not to. They get a search. That's maybe why I shouldn't have taken that. It's not like they're gonna use it for anything, though. They haven't been so far. Please, a monster. Please. Or a way to search a monster, or the field spell. Something. Anything. I'm begging you. Not be destroyed by battle. That's true. It certainly can't. I can steal it and attack with it. No, I can't, because I don't have 3 cards in the graveyard. And I don't want to... Oh, but if I don't, I can't do literally anything. Yep, so we're going to set the double or nothing. We're going to activate this. Just tribute it off. And then we can Widow Anchor. Steal your Boral Sword. Take control of it? Sure. 3,000. I won't go quietly into the night. You can't make me. End phase goes back to you, buddy. And then get back the Widow Anchor. If need be, I can do something else with it. Just stalling my life away. Hoping I can draw that one card that gets me started. I've got 3 Ray, I've got 3 Rose, I've got Hornet Drones, I've got fucking Reinforcements of the Army, I've got Engage, and I've got 2 Field Spell plus Terraforming, all of which be used to send this to the graveyard and hopefully draw me into a thing. Please. Have it back. Go ahead. You did a good. Please give me a monster. Do I have 3? I do have 3 in the graveyard, so I can at least pop. There's the monster you invested so much time into. We'll blow that up. Destroy a spell trap too? Sure, what was this? Rivalry of Warlord. Would have been good if I had any monster. End phase? Let's get back. Get back to where you once belonged. Just popping cards every turn. You know, this is a really effective deck when your opponent doesn't know what they're doing. What is this duel? You know, I'm doing a thing now where I'm trying to cut down the episodes a little bit. So I'm marking whether or not the duels are good duels that Wyncrer should show everything to, or less interesting duels that Wyncrer should cut out. I have no idea what this is. You know what? I think I'm going to tell him to keep most of it in. Just keep it interesting. And, you know what? You let me know. If you made it this far, if you're watching this painful duel, let me know if you like seeing stuff like this. Or if these are the kinds of duels we should skip. Because it's like, is there a lot of back and forth gameplay? Is there a lot of interesting stuff going on? Well, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. It's not a lot of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! It's mostly me bricking, trying hard to stay alive through that brick, and my opponent just making the least sensical plays I've ever seen. There's no offense to my opponent. I think they're probably new to the game, or something. Everyone was new at one point. We've all made mistakes this bad. But, hooey. Tell you what. Oh, thank the Lord. Okay, let me just go ahead and pop this real quick. We'll pop. Destroy that too. No Dragon Maid cleanup for you. Give me my token. I want it. It's mine. If you have 3 spells against 1500 attack and defense, which doesn't really matter. Not in the slightest. Let's Hayate. Get set up. 1500. Bada boom. I've got Eagle Booster, so I can protect whatever I want to do. Let's get the engage. Let's main phase 2, go into the Kagari. We're gonna get ourselves the engage back. We're gonna activate the engage, and I'm going to get the field spell. Because, okay, good, they surrender. Just save me some time. Get the field spell, and I'm like, this triple tactics has been dead in hand the entire time. I'm getting rid of it. I'm seeing what else I could possibly draw off the top. Hopefully we can out-resource them there, but yeah, we had it. I don't know what they were going for, but they were going for it. I tell you what. Either way, let's go ahead to the end screen and wrap this all up. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Sky Bandits, we went 10 out of 10. Wyncrer, toot the horn of celebration. Yeah, that's probably what it deserves. Despite going 10 out of 10, this doesn't really feel like a 10 out of 10 deck. We didn't really go against anything that was too competitive, and we still had kind of a little bit of a rough time with it. 2 of those we arguably should have lost or could have lost very easily, and just for whatever reason our opponents didn't play. Maybe even that last one, if you want to count it. Hard to say, hard to leg. Either way, hopefully, if you are new to Sky Strikers, you learned how to play them. If you're a returning fan of Sky Strikers, you liked seeing this goofy variant, maybe you considered some of your ratios for the future. If I could get people to just be like, maybe Eagle Booster isn't bad, then I'll consider myself job completed. Or if nothing else, maybe you like these sleeves. I made these myself, by the way. If you're unfamiliar, I make a sleeve for every episode that I do, custom, and I release those on the Patreon. You join the Patreon, $2 or more, download the image, and then I've got a deal with yourplaymat.com. There's a link down in the description. You can order real custom sleeves using these designs, if you want to. Regardless, it was certainly an interesting change of pace. Thank you again to Tiberius for suggesting this. Next episode, I'm going to be continuing to look at decks that are stronger than I want. I have another Patreon request for Mayakashi Eldritch, so I'll be trying that out. And until then, good luck and have fun. Hey there, Brandish Maidens. Welcome to the Credits. This is where I take a moment to thank all the patrons who made this show possible, but especially the $25 or higher patrons who allow this channel to soar through the sky. Their names are Davon Crushin, Tiberius Kane Moriarty, Yellow, Yami, Ariane Zweres, 01503, Austin Glover, Chris W, Death's Dancer, Munchry, RPK96 Joe Star, CD Games, Chris Kessler, Dancing Joker, Diotic, Matt, Muffin Fiend, Nathan, Nerazard22, Nightfang, Penumbra Eterna, Kirvin, Quintingent, Reaper X121 Death, Shodan Rider, Tayo no Kitsune, 329, and Trevor F. If you'd like to join the Striker Force and hear your name at the end of the video, the Patreon link should be on the screen and linked down in the description. This episode's secret question of the day is, what did you think of the new episode format? Let me know down in the comments, and until next time, stay frosty, Legos.